Hello, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Time Career Chat. My name is Patricia Hayes, and I'm so glad to see you here. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I know I say that all the time, but it's always someone new. Like I said, my name is Patricia. I am an executive advisor, career empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And that means I love working with people who are looking to level up in their careers and their businesses to be more empowered in the process and to ensure that they are leveraging one of their most valuable resources, their professional network, in an authentic and purposeful manner. So today we are finishing up our series on gratitude and your network that we've been doing this month, and I can't believe we're at the end of it. And literally today, I just decided it was going to be, let's talk about the success power tools when it comes to making sure that we leverage our networks in a way that we are ensured that we're showing them the proper appreciation, right? That's what it's all been about. Because when you do that, it literally feeds itself. When you approach uh, giving back to your network in a show of gratitude and a show of appreciation, it just naturally flows. If you do it just to get something back, well, that energy is going to catch up with you, right? It's not gonna work as well. But when you do it literally, it's like, you know what, I'm reaching out, I'm touching bases with people, all the things we talked about over the course of the last 4 weeks. And then to see that flow back to you is just so powerful. Having seen that happen numerous times for myself and others, there's absolutely something to it when you just are making sure that you say thank you to your people and do it by reaching out to them, by listening to them, by sharing, what you learn about them and for them. There's this great quote. I'm getting back into my quote biz because I love that and making sure I share them. And there's one that showed up this week, and it says, showing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful things humans can do for each other. And that's by Randy Pausch. And here's the thing, it seems so simplistic, but it's so true. Like if you are just being thankful for the people and showing it to them, it is truly a very powerful experience to both give and to receive. And so just think about if you are on the giving end of that, and then without even expecting it, you start to receive as a result of it. Just think about how powerful that can be. So that's the pipeline we've been talking about feeding this month. That when you show gratitude to your network, how to do it, how it impacts them, and how you can keep that going regardless of the time of the year. Showing gratitude is not limited to the month of November and December. That's not it. Showing gratitude to your network is a year-long engagement that will feed you for time to come. All right. So that's the first thing I wanted to make sure and say out there. So, a couple of different things when we're talking about what are the success power tools when it comes to sharing with your network, showing appreciation and growing with them. The first thing that I wanted to know is that being grateful does not mean that you take things for granted. It's the opposite of it, right? When you show appreciation, hopefully you're also acknowledging that I'm not taking this relationship, these opportunities for granted. There was another quote that came across. I told you it was a great week for some great quotes. Where is that one? It's I want to make sure I get it right because I hate misstating a good quote. But it was talking about the effect of it and the door to abundance. Um, Anyway, I can't find it right now. But oh, there it is. It's simply that gratitude is the open door to abundance, and it's an anonymous. It's done anonymous by someone. But you know what? Think about that. When you give, and what I just said, and it returns back to you, and that continues to feed on itself, right? You can't do that in the spirit and take somebody for granted. It's like they don't mesh, they don't go together. Right? They don't go together. So that's that thing is make sure that you're being grateful, which means you are making sure you're not taking people, places, opportunities for granted. When you take things for granted, guess what? They start to fray, they start to fall away, and then you don't have them anymore. Okay. Relationships shift when people take things for granted because you're like, oh, they'll be there. And so you don't feed it, you don't nurture it. But on the opposite side, that's not true, right? They're feeling neglected or they're like, oh, well, this is not important to them anymore. So let me move along. That's not what you want. All right. So remember that when you're expressing that gratefulness to your network, to your people, the opportunities they present and share with you, that you are much more aware about the things that you take for granted so that you can undo that, right? Undo those things or those moments when you are taking things and people for granted. All right. And that requires, I want to make sure and say that requires a mindset shift because it does mean you're actively thinking about what it is you're doing or reviewing it, right? Again, whenever we talk about these things, that it requires work, it doesn't just happen, it requires work, okay? And it's not bad. It doesn't mean that it's like, quote, hard work, but it is consistent work and it does require some awareness. The second thing when it comes to this whole success power tool for showing gratitude with your network is simply that others first mentality. This is something that gets really hard for some people, especially if you are in a I need to get to X mode, right? I need this new job. I need this business to take off. I need. Okay. And those things may all be true. There's no shame in acknowledging that, right? We all have been there. But one of the things that's really important is in the midst of that, because what can happen, we just talked about the mindset shift that's required. You can get caught up in all the things that you need, that you focus only on how you can feed you as opposed to supporting others. And when that starts to block out, that shifts your mindset, it shifts your energy, it shifts how you approach people and opportunities. Okay. So that's what I would say. If you really want to have a very powerful experience for you and your network, is to remember others first. Just write that down. Others first. Where throughout the day or the week can you remember to put others first? And when you do that, that shifts your mindset automatically. And believe it or not, it actually supports you and what it is that you are doing. So don't get it twisted and think, oh, well, that's just, what is it, Pollyanna-ish, and that's not and nothing's going to come of it. It actually does. It actually does work. So that's one of those things that will require some effort and a mindset shift is how can you remember to put others first? How can you remember to acknowledge that there's some other opportunity or that, maybe there's an opportunity that's presented to you that doesn't work for you. And instead of blowing it off, how about we say, but who can I give this to? Who can I share this with? Right? Because why not get a 2-for-1 benefit, right? Someone gets the benefit of an opportunity and you get the benefit of having shown some appreciation to them. And we've already established that flows and comes back around. All right. Let's see. And we're not going to take a lot of time today. The third thing is when it comes to a power tool for showing gratitude with your network is the whole give, don't take. This is at the core of the values that I support for my personal business and how I teach and approach professional networking with people is giving, and this links clearly to the last thing we talked about, and not just taking, not just seeing what you can get from someone. All right. It puts off a whole different energy. This is the reason why people say they hate networking. The only thing people hate more than networking is public speaking. And I always laugh because I love doing both. So I'm like, what does that say about me? But I don't approach them in the way that that cause most people to hate it. Right? I approach public speaking from a framework of loving to share, help others, be uplifted, sharing content, whatever, that type of thing. And as well as with networking, literally the same thing. Like that's the common thread. What can you share? Right? What can you share? What can you do to uplift someone else? How can you build? All right. And when you have a common thread like that, what you're not doing is trying to focus just on what you can get. Because when you come into a space with that energy, people feel it and they know. Oh, what is it you do? Well, how long have you been there? And da, da, da. Now, are those some natural questions? Yeah, but normally it follows up with the wheels turning and they're like, oh, this person can't be of help to me, so I'm going to move along. I'm telling you, some of my best conversations at quote, the dreaded networking events have been when I spent time with only 3 or 4 people and not with 10, 15, 20. Because those 3, 4, 5 people that I can follow up and say, hey, it was really great talking to you this day about X. Let's schedule coffee. It's going to be way more productive in the long run than just collecting a bunch of names that you don't follow up with at all because you decided they can't be of use to you. That is the worst assumption that you can make with someone. When you go into that and decide that they're not useful to you, man, you can get burned by that really, really fast. I know that a couple of years ago, I was one of the boards that I was on, and there was someone who, was always the one who questioned, right? They were the ones that always ask the extra question, challenge, and it's like, that's fine. We all have one. I mean, sometimes I'm that person on that board, right? But this is someone that some people might write off, say, oh, she's just a troublemaker, just always got to have a question about X, Y, Z. Well, then, and I'd known this person for years in a professional context, right? Never really socialized with them. But in the context of talking with some other people, I find out that this person has these incredible contacts and connections that I had no idea about, right? And it, like, connected my family. And I was blown away. And literally my first thought was, good thing I never treated her poorly or blew her off. I just did what I do. Sometimes you can get to that. But when I do that, trust you me, I'm making that as an active decision that this person's not going to be productive or contribute to X in this way. Not that just like you're worthless to me. You're a pain in the butt, so I'm not going to deal with you at all. Right? I'm not saying you can't have that thought process. You can absolutely have it. I'm just telling you to be really aware of it and to not just use it, blanket it, carte blanche across the board with people, because you will miss out. You will miss out. Even if you never have to dip into that contact directly, it's when people refer you that you don't even realize that's what they're doing. Those are the moments. And I'm telling you, I've had those. I've had those show up out of the blue from people I hadn't talked to in years, or that I haven't talked to in a year. It happened literally a couple of months ago. If it's been that, I think it may be even been a month ago, where an old lawyer colleague that I haven't talked to probably in a year apparently had referred me for a speaking gig. Okay, thank you so much, right? And go make sure I say thank you and the follow up. All right. Don't take things for granted. Don't forget to put up, excuse me, put others first. And don't focus on just take what you can get from people. Focus on what you can give to people and trust that the rest will return to you. And that may be hard. And that's a mindset shift, and that's a growth piece. Sometimes we're doing it unconsciously. This is an invitation to be much more active in that thought process so that you can build it up, right? Because I'm not, most people are good people, right? They're going to kind of help do whatever, but they do it in a haphazard way. It's not strategic. It's not deliberate. And then you wonder why your responses are haphazard, right? So what I'm talking about is doing this in a very focused, aware way where you are purposely engaging with people, where you are purposefully showing appreciation for the folks in your network and figuring out how you can help them and what you can do to feed their growth. And when you do that, people feed back into you. Like the opportunities show back up. And if you're like, well, that's not happening fast enough, well, then you need to start giving faster. You need to start sharing faster. You want it to show up for you faster, you got to start sharing faster. Okay. So that's all I got for you on that one. All right. It has been really, really good. If you have missed out, I want you to know you can go check it all out on the YouTube channel. The playlists are there for, and I'm going to start lumping these together because I've done so many of these different series. I'm going to start making the series, putting the series together, but know that they're not going to be, when they get lumped together like that, they're not going to be in there for free for long, because that's some really strategic targeted content. But if you go through the coffee chat for 2022, you will find them. And the thing that we have been doing this month, let me go find that other one, is when we were talking about gratitude, just so you can have an idea of what you want to look to if you're looking to binge some things over the course of the holidays, is when we were talking about gratitude in your network and showing that appreciation. How many ways can we say thank you? We've talked about that. Number two, how we can learn to know the needs of our network, and which leads to being able to anticipate their needs so that you can support them. That was the third one. And then fourthly, showing up for your people, how you can deliberately show up and support them every day. And then making sure that we can ultimately show your gratitude year round. That's where we are. What you can do by using those power tools to show gratitude to your network year round. Okay, that's it. That's what I got for you. Looking forward to following up with you. Check out the feed if you are looking for some additional opportunities for growth here this last month of the year, because they are available. There are some end of the year bundles that I'm sharing this week, beginning of this week, as well as making sure that you can go into the holidays and with the right mindset and to be successful with the 12 days of holiday networking guide. It's a fun little piece, but it's actually very targeted to help you be successful during the holiday months. Okay, so check those things out. If you have questions or can't find something, just hit me up in the DMs. I'll be happy to direct you and share with you. and look forward to following up with you soon. There's great things on the horizon. Know that in December, we are not going to be live. We're going to be taking a little break so we can build some new content that's super exciting, but also allow you to take a look back to some things that you might have missed in the past year and to do so in a very strategic way. So keep an eye out for that post so you can keep up with what's coming next. So don't tune out, tune in. It's just going to be on replay for the month of December. And I invite you to continue to share. All right, take care. Talk to you soon, you guys.